Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys the first perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, will Montrezl Harrell be able to help the Lakers repeat and go back-to-back? So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, be sure to check out our new Dreamerspro platform that we're launching in the first week of January, so be on the lookout for that. We'll let you guys know in the coming days. Anyway, so let me just get back into the content here. So, as you know, the preseason is up and running. Games have started, and one of the first games that I saw was Montrezl Harrell playing with the Lakers, Clippers versus Lakers. And he was the big off-season acquisition for the Lakers this off-season. He was the main guy that they got, right? You know, they got him, and, you know, they got him from the Clippers, so there was a little bit of drama kind of, involved in that. Now, if we look at his productivity last season, Montrezl Harrell was the sixth man of the year last season, and the guy, you know, he had a pretty good season. To be honest with you, he averaged 18.6 points per game. He got you 7.1 rebounds, 1.7 assists, all coming off the bench, right? That's a lot of points to come off the bench with. He shot 58% from the field, which is pretty good. He didn't shoot any threes. He shot 0% from the threes, so he got no threes. He doesn't have a percentage for that. He shot 66% from the free throw line, and he also got you 1.1 blocks. Now, the reason why you're seeing that 1.1 blocks is because Montrezl Harrell plays with a lot of energy. He's an energy guy. He plays with a lot of tenacity. He crashes the board. He can score on one-on-one on offense, like on his own. He rolls to the basket very hard. So he's a great player. A lot of and as I said, any team that has him coming off their bench, they just added about 18 to 19 points per game. Now it also depends on the team that he's playing with, how many touches he's going to get. But overall, he's a really good bench player, power forward position. The only thing about Montrez is that it's his size at that position. Montrezl Harrell is 6'7", playing power forward. That's the only kind of thing that one would need to focus on is his size. But he makes up for that. He makes up for that with his physicality and the force that he plays with. And he's able to hold his own against bigger players that are probably 2-3 inches taller than him, just because of the force that he plays with. So that was something that I liked about him, and I thought that it would actually work well when he was on the Clippers if they were to meet the Lakers in the playoffs. If they were to meet the Lakers in the playoffs. I said, hey, listen, this guy, because of his physicality, he's not going to be able to guard Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis is a finesse big, so he doesn't really bang a lot. He's not searching for contact, is one of the reasons AD says he doesn't even like playing the center position, because there's too much banging that goes on in the paint there. So I think Montrezl Harrell it was really good for him. Now, he has some pretty big shoes to fill, and by big shoes I mean literally, because the Lakers lost their defensive big in Dwight Howard, who was really his main assignment was to guard the other team's best center, but also he's a great rim protector, and he's very athletic, around the rim, a lot of lateral quickness. So they lost Dwight Howard, who's a legitimate 7-footer, and they also lost JaVale McGee, who's another 7-footer. So them losing these two guys, the Lakers also have to pay attention to the fact that you're replacing two 7-footers with a guy that's 6'7", and that's why the Lakers went out to get Marc Gasol. But we've yet to see. I haven't seen Marc Gasol in any of the preseason games, and I don't know how he's going to look, because he's a little bit longer in the two. But we'll see how he pans out for them. But these are the two main replacements that he's meant to replace. Now, he's most likely going to play the 4, right? He's most likely going to play the 4, and I think it's going to be pretty interesting depending on the type of lineup that the Lakers decide to go with, because obviously we know their main players, and Anthony Davis usually plays the 4, right? And Montrezl Harrell usually plays the 4, and AD has made it clear that, listen, I don't want to play the 5. So I really wonder how it's going to work. I don't see a scenario where they have, Montrezl Harrell and AD on the court at the same time, and Montrez is playing the 5, and AD is playing the 4. I think it's just going to look quite awkward, because AD should be playing the center position. So I think that's something that the Lakers coaching staff, obviously, they've already ironed out, given the fact that these guys are professionals and this is what they do. for a living. So I'm sure they've ironed out all of those different wrinkles and know exactly how they're going to use him. Frank Vogel and that coaching staff know exactly how they're going to use him. I think also Frank Vogel, given the fact that he's a defensive-minded coach, I feel like he's going to be able to get a little bit more out of Montrez from the defensive side of the ball. Maybe not as an individual defender, but maybe as a great team defender and a help defender, because for his size, he can only do so much, as I said before, 6'7", and some people don't understand really what I'm saying. But Paul George, who's a shooting forward, a small forward, is taller than Montrezl Harrell, who's a power forward. So just to put that in perspective, Paul George is 6'8". Montrezl Harrell is 6'7". So that's something that the Lakers are going to need to pay attention to. But the question is, can he help them repeat? And I think is an important question. And I think really it all comes down to how he performs in the playoffs. Let's face it, that's the reason that they got him right now. Let's look at Montrezl Harrell's numbers in the playoffs last season, given his regular season production. So he wasn't injured or anything like this, but some people, because of the loss of his a loved one in his family, maybe that played a role. Maybe the bubble played a role. Some players did well in the bubble. Other players underperformed in the bubble. So I don't know, maybe the bubble had a role to do with it. But let's look at his numbers in the playoffs, and then we can compare his numbers to the playoffs prior to the season before. This year in the playoffs, this past season, he averaged 10.5 points a game. He got you 0.4 steals, 0.4 assists, 2.9 rebounds. 2.9 rebounds, dropping down from 7.1, which was a career high for him in a year. He shot 60% from the free throw line, 30% from the three. I'm not going to count that because he doesn't shoot threes. And he shot 57% from the floor. So he didn't have a good playoff showing for the numbers that he put up in the regular season. Those were not six man of the year numbers. Let's just face it. Let's be honest. And some people may say, well, you hating. Hold up a minute. The year before in the playoffs, let's look at his numbers the year before in the playoffs. This was just the year before. He averaged 18 points per game. He got you 0.7 blocks, a half a steal a game, which whatever that means. So maybe a steal every other game. He averaged 2.2 assists per game. He got you 5.5 rebounds. He shot close to 70% from the free throw line, and he shot 73% from the field. 73% from the field. I think this is the player that the Lakers are going to need in the playoffs. You don't need the Montrez that you got last season in the playoffs, and I don't think it's going to be the same because let's be honest, playing with LeBron James, he's probably the best playmaker in basketball. Like if we're just talking about a pure playmaker, I think LeBron James may work well with him, but it's not necessarily to put it all on LeBron James because 2 years ago he was not playing with LeBron James and he still averaged, 6 man of the year numbers in the playoffs. So it all depends, right? But that's the player I'm assuming they're hoping for. And if they get that player in the playoffs, because really all of this is about the playoffs. Let's face it, because the Lakers are going to make the playoffs. So it's not even a question of how is he going to perform. Who cares how he performs in the regular season? Is what is he going to do in the playoffs for the Lakers? And if he puts up these type of numbers in the playoffs, then absolutely he can help them win it, repeat. Absolutely, there's no question in my mind about it that he can help them because those are some very good numbers. 18 and 7 are good numbers. Shooting over 50-something or close to 60% from the field are good numbers. But will it be the difference? Well, that remains to be seen. I'm not a fortune teller. Some people will say yes, some people will say no. So what I want to know from you guys is quite simple. Do you think Montrezl Harrell will help the Lakers repeat this year? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, be sure to check out some of our other videos on the channel. If you enjoyed this video, we're going to link a video at the end of this video here to make sure you check that out. Once again, it's just Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.